Are you listening?
You look terrible. All white and tired and old. How's the job going?
Good morning. Good morning, coffee crew. Good morning, my creeps. Hello, new peeps. Welcome to Then the Show, Superfast Tortoise and Friends, which I should probably add friends to the title. Yeah.
And we're going to be the Justice League of Magic before too long.
Justice League, that's right.
Well, good morning, everyone. Glad to be here. It's a good Friday.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good Friday. It's an amazing Friday. It's an awesome Friday. It's Fridays all the time. Friday. You can't tell I had a cup of coffee before the show started, can you? Can I have this? Oh, whoa. And look, I'm wearing a different shirt today. Yes. Because it goes with the card of the day. Boom.
Hey.
Hey, look at that face. Clean shaven.
I did. Yeah. So I was a little late. But yeah, Jurassic Park. You got the shirt. You got the matching mug. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm a big Jurassic Park nerd. And like, people probably won't realize it, but like when I was shitting on the Ian Malcolm Secret Lair and it all being Ian Malcolm, and it torqued me off because to me he's like not like the most super big character of the franchise, even though he's the main character of the second book. There's a lot more they could have done there, and they didn't, and that hurt my Jurassic Park fan feelings. I'm like, Alan Grant, it was great, but like even in the cards, well, one thing I know why I'd like to know is there's a Triceratops card it's Triceratops with a baby Triceratops. That scene was actually taken from the book because they're in the first book when Alan and the kids are trying to find their way back from being lost on the island. They find a place to stay, and when Alan Grant wakes up, he sees little Timmy, the little kid, like talking to a little Triceratops baby, and the mom's there. And I'm like, huh, callbacks. They did something good.
Heck yeah. And that's good to hear that they did that, man. You know, you speaking on that makes me happy but sad at the same time, right? Because happy that Jurassic Park crossover happened in general, but yeah, sad that there was some missed opportunities there, you know?
Oh yeah, like for example, when I built my original Jurassic Park deck, I'd take cards and I'd be like, oh, this could represent these kids, like the Cyan, not the Cyan twins, but you know the twins from Eldraine, the red blue planeswalker card.
Will and what's her nuts? Yeah,
Rona.
Yeah, Rowan. Will Rowan.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, like represent the kids. They could have totally reprinted that card with the little kids on it. Same card, same thought, because people know they're twins and have the same abilities. Having perfect ability, a perfect card. Another card I thought represented, even though he's not a giant, but like I used to run Sun Titan in the deck for recursion. And I'm like, that would have been a perfect Alan Grant kind of card to have Alan Grant is there. Or Laboratory Maniac. Like that's one of the cards that the Chaotician is on, Ian Malcolm. But like that would have been a perfect Henry Wu card for the franchise. And I'm like, I want Jurassic Park in my deck, but I want it to be like more of the cast and crew, because I would like for example, Joda Archmage Eternal is the commander of my deck. He has flying, which is weird, but I think of him as a John Hammond because he kind of ties all the big creatures together, helps cheat out the dinosaurs, and that's what John Hammond did.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, Godzilla. Good morning, Mrs. Hillbilly.
That is certainly one way to think of it, sir. You know, what was just going through my mind is the identity of Jurassic Park has like grown so much right? So like Chris Pratt is now the new generation's face of Jurassic Park.
Right.
So I'm willing to bet that there was. Oh, good afternoon, Gaming Bob.
Good afternoon, Game Bob.
I'm willing to bet there was a roundtable meeting of sorts, and they were like, "All right, which Jurassic Park are we gonna have to sink our teeth into?" You know what I'm saying? And I guess they just probably went with the OG one because it's the most recognizable. Or let me even theorize further: the pockets of the OG Jurassic Park fans are a little bit deeper and fluid and able to spend on magic than say the younger crowd. You know, the 18s, the 20s. They might be struggling a little bit harder, having a little bit less pay of jobs and having to get out on their own, yada yada. But adults, but yeah, you know, adults, established folk who are just trying to play some magic. That I think that's a more addressable market there.
Right. Well, it is more addressable, and what sells the franchise is the movies. Obviously, I mean, literally, there are 2 books for Jurassic Park that are connected. There, I think, if I remember correctly, there's a couple college projects out there that are supposed to expand on the books, but there's 2 books. You got Jurassic Park, and you got the Lost World of Jurassic Park, and then that's it. Then we have like about what 9 movies now. And out of 2 books, like even the first book doesn't even take notes from all the first book, or the first movie doesn't take all the notes from the first book, and the second book doesn't take all the notes from the second book. In fact, the second movie, fun fact, the opening scene where the little girl gets eaten by compies or beat up by compies, however you say it, she survives. That was actually filmed for the first movie because that was actually set in the first book. But they ended up using that scene in the second movie because it's good footage. They just couldn't find a good place to put it in the first movie. So, and that whole scene is also tied in with the opening of the first book, first movie, where where they're trying to get the little raptor cage into the paddock. And that scene was created because in the book, there's this whole scene where this guy is life flighted to a nearby cheap hospital on an island, and he's dying because of scars, and they're lying about it. Well, the scene where the guy gets eaten by the raptor in the beginning was not in the book. They created that to explain the hospital scene that never showed up in the movie.
Huh. Okay. The callback or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So MTG Gaming Bob has some info here or opinions in chat, and I definitely can agree.
This gives WOTC room to expand in the future of Jurassic Park 2, 3, etc. Yeah, it does. It does. And going backwards in the future, MTG expansion would be weird chronologically. Yeah.
Chronologically, absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
You know what would be kind of cool? I was just getting inspired listening to you talk about Jurassic Park. We should do like a Discord watch party like once every 2 weeks or something. You know, have a movie night in Discord.
That'd
we can do a private stream. Yeah, let's say it's an 1.5-hour movie. Make it a 2-hour, 2.5-hour thing. We'll have a little discussion. You know, all that. That'd be cool.
That could be cool. Don't know how to do it quite yet, but because I don't have a DVD player on my laptop.
Oh goodness, I'm an old fogey over here with my CD DVD drive.
Well, like I have a DVD drive, but like I don't even have a player. Like I can rip. Yeah. Oh wait, I can rip movies and copy them over into an MP4 and play the MP4s on my videos. That's how I've been making digital copies. Right. Man, that was a fun segment to open the show with, talking about Jurassic Park and all that fun jazz. Oh yeah. Spoiler alert for those who haven't read the book. John Hammond dies in the first book. He never lives past the first book. Same with John the movie, gets torn up by raptors in an epic scene. And Alan Grant survives by surviving several different raptor attacks in one office room or one scientific room. Yeah, there. You may run into copyright issues running movies on YouTube. No, we're not talking about YouTube. We're talking about Discord, not YouTube. I actually looked into that. People used to like review movies. They'll watch a movie with their face on camera, and they would get away with it because they were talking throughout the movies. But there are some people who watch the movie and get silent for like 15 minutes watching the movie, And so much copyright issues happen there. So
It's
you can't
about
really do that
making
on
it-
YouTube.
Yeah, it's about making the content transformative.
Right.
Which is something that I've been looking into myself for reaction type content. And I obviously know it's low hanging fruit, right? But I mean, there's a decent sized Magic community in YouTube now. And technically, I don't see anybody doing reaction content to Tolarian or anything. So, I mean,
Do it.
who's going to tell me no?
Do it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I thought about doing that, but I realized I'd probably come off too much as a dick.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I'd put my foot in my mouth way too fast in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
The first time I thought about it is when he got his deck box, his sponsored deck box, whatever.
Yeah, the
Which I think
official
the deck
Tolarian box.
Yeah, I thought the deck box looks cool, but it just annoys the shit out of me that both sides of it are magnets. Like when I have a deck box, I like one side to be attached to the deck box, And that was my biggest gripe about it. Everything else was fine. Everything else was perfect. But I hated the fact that, like, what if the magnets get too weak and the lid cannot hold on anymore? Because magnets do get weak. What if
Probably not in your lifetime, but they do get weak.
Right. Well, I've had magnets. Well, it depends on where you get the magnets. There might be high quality magnets, that stick around for a while, but magnets do get weak. And that's my big gripe. Like, I even asked a professor in a video, like not on a video, but like in one of his videos in the comments, I'm like, is there a way you can do one with the side attached to it?
Yeah.
He's like, no, they're magnets. And people were just defending him because he was all excited because he got a magnet lid that's detachable. And I'm like, I hate the detachable part of the magnets.
I bet you do. And honestly, I understand your gripe, but as a juggalo, being a fan of ICP and hearing Tolarian literally do the thing, magnets, how do they work? Dude, I was instantly sold. I was like, all right, I kind of like this guy before. I really like him now.
All right, well, magnets, how do they work? Yeah, because miracles are a thing.
Okay, so what's funny is Bob, always the contrarian, but not without validity. He says the professor whines too much and seems to really preach the plight of the poor far too much. MTG is a business and needs to make money to survive. Balance in all things. And then he says WOTC is way out of balance.
Right.
I gotta agree with that, man. If I were to just take a quick hip fire opinion at that, it's a Northwest thing. I really think it's the soft Pacific Northwest bubble. Now, mind you, I lived there for many years, so I know that there's a lot of hard fools, a lot of good music, a lot of good media that comes up. Dude, Microsoft is there. You know what I'm saying? And of course, our beloved WOTC and Magic was spawned in Washington. Okay.
Right.
But there is a little bit of, don't offend me kind of attitude that resides in those areas. And I do feel that the professor kind of alludes, or not alludes, but like, emits that kind of vibe sometimes through his content. And it's unfortunate, but I think he's a great dude overall. And his content.
Yeah, nothing against him.
Yeah.
I just don't like
as a guest, right? No, as a guest, my opinions are mine solely. I don't represent Tortoise. I just am a guest here.
Well, I assume so. I mean, you just admitted to being a juggalo, and you know how deep cutthroat that gets to some people.
Oh, that's an instant unsub for some folks, bro.
Like, bye, see you later, Tortoise. I'm like, it's just music. It's just a band. It's just a hatchet, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I grew up on the wrong side of the juggalo curve because the juggalo curve in my neighborhood of Ogden City was all gang related.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of assholes, all right, who didn't understand the meaning of the music. They just heard I can do whatever I want and get away with it, basically attitude. And this went with that and got the police involved because they actually started forming a gang called the Juggalo Killers or something like that. And then that gang got shut down before it had a good following because it was starting to grow. And there's a whole story I can't get into because it's a little too involves a lady, and I don't want to get into that, but having to go to the police.
Man, that's scary.
Yeah, so I used to hate the juggalo thing, to be honest. But my sister is a juggalo, and I have people I love in my life who are juggalos, and I've met amazing people like you. I've met investable collectibles, and a couple other people who are juggalos. You know, the people who showed me that all juggalos are the same. You know, so that's given me respect for the people in my life. You know, not to hate one thing because I just had the wrong view of it for the long time.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely. There are some bad actors out there in the field. And that's unfortunate, but I think that you're going to get that anywhere, even in the MTG community. You know, there are some toxic fools. There are some very segregating type people. They're everywhere. Not that they're commonly found.
Right.
We talk about them all the time, but they're out there.
Well, guess what?
On a more positive note.
We've gone on the show for 16 minutes, and we haven't done 3 things that are done in the first few minutes of the show.
Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh. But, you know, that brings us to the time of day, and Hillbilly knows what time of day is it. What time of day is it?
Card of the day.
Boom! Yes. Card of the day is Ravenous Tyrannosaurus. I still need a copy of this. I want to get a copy of this for my dinosaur deck, my more Jurassic Park themed deck. This is pretty solid. Did you want to try to read this one, Hillbilly?
Sure.
All right.
I knew when Ravenosaurus, Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
4 green and a red. Creature dinosaur with Devour 3. As it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with 3 times that many +1s. Ooh. When this card attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 other target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah. So this is a good card. It's like right now it's worth $27, and I gotta save the money to afford that. Jeez. That's the regular version, not the foil version. That's the regular version. This is the regular version, just full art because they're all full art. But $27. This card is pretty solid. Devour 3 is a good mechanic, and it's very fitting and very flavorful because, especially this scene, he does devour a velociraptor. But it's pretty chill, like in the movie. This card is awesome. Like the picture, I've won a couple. I won of like I probably won't do it. Won't be able to do it too anymore because of this card. But I've won a couple of what do you call those games where you answer questions about a thing? Trivia. Yeah, I answered a couple of trivia game nights because a lot of people couldn't remember what was said on this banner that fell.
Oh, you know what? That is a good trivia question.
Right. And what it says is when dinosaurs ruled the earth, and I've always got it right.
Gotta put it on his headstone. I was right about the banner.
Right. It was always the breaker because people said like something about dinosaurs just in general, but like they forgot about when dinosaurs ruled the earth. It was crazy. It was cool. Some people just couldn't remember it, but not everybody was a big fan of the franchise like me. But some people were, and most of the trivia nights are, with family, friends, all that jazz. But it's still one of the things I get to, spat out. Yeah, I know this. Like out of a group of 10 people, I was the only one who guessed it. That's how excited I was for it. All right. Now with that, we're going to get to the picture of the day. The picture today is brought to you by Mrs. Hillbilly. She shared it on Discord with us today. And I thought it was pretty good. It says, Lord, give me coffee to change the things I can and music to accept the things I can't. That's right.
That goes right along with the stream here.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Pretty saucy, pretty flavorful, pretty neat. Yeah.
Especially having a history of family in the recovery programs. It's actually really funny, bro. Yeah.
All right. Then, oh my lord, I can't believe we're almost to the halftime of the show, and we still haven't showed this for the first time, but we're gonna do it now and kind of mix it in the middle. If you want to find some sweet Magic the Gathering dice bags and stuff, go to carnsartopia.com where you can find sweet Magic the Gathering dice bags like this super fast tortoise dice bag for $45 plus $5 ship. Holds up a little more than 2 pounds of dice and is shaped like a turtle. Whoop, whoop. There you can find some sweet lapel pins ranging from $5 to $8. Pretty amazing. And you're like, the salty one's pretty awesome. The sarcasm one's pretty awesome. That's a turtle. That's a skull. That's a D20 skull. That's pretty awesome. But you can find all these in this dice bag at carnsartopia.com. And you can find a hillbilly dice bag too. Hillbilly. You like some mustard biscuits. All right. Well, look at that. Woo.
Dag blanket.
Dag blaggett indeed. All right.
Dag blaggett.
Woo, yeah, Game Bob. I'm a guy. I want to play that dinosaur in a Scoot Swarm Fling deck. That'd be awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I think the price point's fair for it because Devour is kind of underrated. But like, it's not a mechanic you just build, like put a lot of Devour creatures in because you can't just devour everything and just have Devour for every creature. But in certain synergies, pretty epic, and has a fight mechanic on it that doesn't fight itself, which is amazing because it deals the damage and excess damage goes to the opponent.
The asymmetrical fight.
Asymmetrical, that's right. It's like you're the one doing the punches and not receiving them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and Devour is a cool mechanic too. I think it featured originally in the
Shards of Lore
block. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it was. That was a pretty good set too. One of my favorite sets. I love multicolored sets.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, they featured some of those cards in the digital client, the original digital client, but I may be misremembering right now. I'm probably just remembering seeing all the product on the shelves at the LGS and being wowed by all the,
All right. Now it's time to get to the main segment that was supposed to happen like 10 minutes ago but we have been having fun. But define the topic, because there's a topic to talk about. All right, so the topic today is MTG reprints are not bad, but need to be tamed. Magic the Gathering cards being reprinted and added to circulation are not the problem in Magic the Gathering. A lot of the misconception of price dropping is because the reprints are not hurting the market, but what is hurting the market is the amount of cards being reprinted in the vast numbers. Meaning the amount of times our beloved cards are seeing reprints of individual cards being overprinted is hurting the market of singles. So you can reprint cards, but when you have the vast amount of times a card can be reprinted over and over again, it will hurt the value of cards. WOTC and the gluttonous amount of times they reprint a card hurts the market overall. My point is clear. My point is this. Reprints are fine. They should reprint cards in smaller amounts and be specific where they reprint cards. We see cards reprinted in too many places. Secret Lairs, subsets, insets, and list commander decks, reprints and standard sets, etc. Too many reprints all the time drop the value of cards like crazy. WOTC needs to tame the amount of cards and the rate of cards being reprinted. Keep reprints for more specific purposes and not like Willy Wonka handing out candy. Let's discuss. Oh my lord, I was trying to read that fast and clear, everybody.
It's okay, man. So I guess I'll comment real quick. The card of the day that you showed earlier, awesome card. But I was a little thrown off because it was like, well, the topic is reprints. And I actually posted in your Discord today where we, us guests and viewers, are welcome to throw in the card of the day. I threw in Disenchant. I put in the Brothers War most recent reprint. And, of course, the OG Alpha. And what's really, So what's really cool about that is that it's a card that's kind of stood the test of time, so to speak, right? It was so well designed that it can fit in almost any set, and the theme of it, just disenchant, is present in any realm of Magic. I don't think you can make a set where it's like, disenchant doesn't fit there. So I think that's a great card.
Oh no, I just went to the work to download those pictures to show them off, and I downloaded them in the wrong file type.
Noob.
Well, no,
Well,
right.
Just kidding.
My thoughts on this is, reprints are good. It's great that they're doing reprints, but the reason why I say it's great that they're doing reprints because you got these new, say a new player comes in, you take a $50 card. They do so many reprints, bring that $50 card down enough to where that new player can afford to play that card.
Right.
But what they're doing the reprints too quick, too soon. They do need to wait about maybe 5 to 10 years, or at least 3 years, before they make a reprint.
That makes me wonder.
That wouldn't hurt the card too much. I mean, it'll hurt the card some still, but it won't hurt it as bad value wise.
Right.
Does anybody have any comparison to like the Yu-Gi-Oh market? Because like I've dabbled with the Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, and it's kind of crazy at how low value their cards are and how often they reprint, and that may be the reason why they're so little in value. It could also just be that the IP of Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have the strength and reach that Magic does, but they have a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? And then that was what drew so many people in the early 2000s. So many youngsters, I should say, was that there was a cartoon.
Well, think about
this too. I see you raising your hand there, MTG Hillbilly.
Yeah, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
What I want to say is a retort to TCG, dude. A retort, like a special tortoise retort, right?
A retortus,
right? A retortus, right? So Pokemon has a cartoon that made it big and infamous in video games.
Oh yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh has a TV show, also video games.
Yeah.
Magic doesn't have a TV show yet. It hasn't had a TV show.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple different games here and there, but one has stood the test of time because of value and collectability for the longest of time, where the other ones had some value and do have some collectability, but a lot of it's just about playing or collecting. Because like a lot of Pokemon collectors collect, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players actually play, and that sounds weird to say collectors is here and players here, but that's where the basics are. Where in Magic, you got the sweet spot of both.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I can attest to is I have a Magic the Gathering cube. I think I showed you before, but I like showing it off. This is a draftable cube right here. Right here. Yeah, hear that sound? That's pretty awesome.
Yes, I do.
That used to be worth $5,000 before reprints were a big thing. Now it's worth like $2,600.
I feel you, dog. I looked at my crypto this morning and I was like, oh.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. The reason why I got out of playing Yu-Gi-Oh was they came out with some cards where you can flood the board on turn 1.
Right.
And when they did that, I like, forget it.
It's an aggressive game.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh competitively is turn 1 or bust.
Yeah.
That's what it's turned into, especially when because like I remember the first cut Yu-Gi-Oh had, like, cut to the players when they did the massive reprint of like, not only did they reprint cards, but they downshifted cards from like ultra rare to like common, where they took Regeki, which was one of those cards that were always foil when you pulled it, and just gutted it to like a common level. And Regeki is a one-sided board wipe. It destroys all your opponent's creatures as a trap.
Nice. Yeah, that name rings bells.
Yeah. So they really neutered the game and made it more accessible for players Yu-Gi-Oh! Somewhere down the line decided it was going to be a player-based game more than it was going to be a collector's game, even though there are some cards worth money in Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's more rare to find a card worth money. And in Pokemon, they reprint cards all the time, but they're always printing cards. They're doing special renditions of cards, but there are cards worth money, like alpha versions and stuff like that are still worth money. Magic is kind of the same way where, you know, you have your reserve list cards and some cards are just still worth money there. A lot of cards are not worth money anymore. But what changed is with the rapid reprint succession rate of reprints happening, the standard environment has lost money. The commander environment has lost money in value to collecting. And that's where the over reprinting is. But reprints, I'll hone in. Reprints are not the problem. It's the amount of reprints that are happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I agree. I agree to an extent. I just had this thought kind of enter in, man. What about maybe we're all just kind of hyping ourselves up and kind of tricking ourselves because of the massive influx of popularity and value into the MTG market circa 2020 and COVID, right? COVID and that whole experience for the world just put a magnifying glass on Magic, right? And really honed everybody in. Everybody was stuck at home doing yada yada yada. You know the thing, right? But maybe we're all just stuck on the, oh gosh, this is gonna keep increasing in value, and we're just stuck in that, and you know that ship has sailed. That
ship is definitely sailed, and I think that's part of the issue is the increasing value thing, because there was a time in Magic where I could watch the stocks of Magic, look at a price of a card, know how playable it is. If I bought it now where it was cheap, I knew it was going to go up. I've done it many times. I'd buy the card in the low when I could, because that's where I can afford it, is at the low. Yeah. And I would watch it go up and up and up. Then they started reprinting it. Like one perfect example of a card you can watch the history of go up and down because of reprints is Crucible Worlds. So every time it gets reprinted, it got it down to like a $10 card, then goes back up to $20. But there was a time it was like a $40, $60 card. But now it's never going to be there again if they basically reprint it every so often. And one thing that kind of guts the prices, and I say gut because it cuts it at the gut, is Secret Lairs. Now, they discussed that they're going to trim down the print to demand on Secret Lairs, and they're going to do limited runs now. Like they'll make a limit. If they sell out, they sell out, which might help the market, but they're still reprints. Well, it's a step in the right direction. But what I really want Wizards to do, and what I want to hear is Wizards talk about reprints and how they want to control it. I want to hear them say they made the mistake instead of us telling them that they made a mistake or did something. Now, to go back on what you said about the lockdown COVID times, that's when they saw a resurgence in the market of how many people actually like the product. They got these monies they think it's spend. People bought tons of Magic cards, Magic products and stuff. They're buying all the stuff they can. Yeah. To finish their decks, build their decks and stuff like that. And that really gave them an insight because there was a huge spike. Just boom. And they saw a huge spike. And they're like, there is a market that we haven't seen. Then they just kind of clambered to it and tried to perfect that market. And what happened is as we got more back in our real life money trail, where our money actually matters, where we were getting paid a little extra there because it couldn't work, and some people even better than what they were getting at work. When we came back to Earth, WOTC kind of didn't come back to Earth.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought of an analogy of sorts. So you have a restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. And let's just say, you have your 4 or 5 tables and it's lunchtime. You got 1 or 2 people there, right? Well, COVID era for Magic was a busy day, slam line out the door for the restaurant owner. And they're like, oh my God, we have so much business. We need to open a second kitchen.
Right.
And they did it. And they opened the second kitchen. They printed more. They made more product lines with set boosters and all that stuff. And then nobody showed up to eat.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
think
so
that's a
that's
really good
probably why
analogy there.
yeah. So they had to do all the big red buttons, like we were saying yesterday. Pull out all the stops to get people to come in to eat. And I don't know. Some people are still there, but I think there is a mass exodus. And I don't want to promote FUD or naysay the game, but we also got to be real.
Right, and like I wanted to bring up that Richie is saying that they take their evidence that there's no overprinting. Well, they say that, but if they neuter the cards enough, right? If they neuter the card prices enough, and they start looking for cards worth value that are chaseable in a set for the prices that are being charged for sets nowadays, they're going to start realizing their problem when it becomes harder to find a card to reprint to be a chase card. Now, I don't think the problem's quite there yet. There's still time to fix some of the issues, but I think in order for that to work is WOTC has to verbally come out and talk about it. Give us some
Fat
trust.
chance, sir. Fat chance.
I'm telling you what I want, right?
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
What I
agree.
want I can't talk for a multi-billion-dollar company and them want to show faith in the community. Like they want us to buy their product, but what I think was funny. Sorry, I'm probably taking up a lot of time here talking, but I think what's funny. Well, okay, two things I think is funny is Wizards of the Coast basically told us through Blake Rasmussen that if we engage in the product we want to engage with, and I felt like we all took that to heart, like the community. And as a result of it, how many layoffs have come because of it? It's a sad truth, but it's funny because it's like Wizard says, well, we're going to play like we're not the problem. We're going to tell you to engage with the product, because we engage with the product you want, like you're going to buy everything. But we're like, okay, we'll engage with what we want and just buy the singles. And that's what people did. And now layoffs twice a year. That's really showing them like
that's I'm really happy that you brought up the instance of Wizards saying engage with the product at your own interest or whatever,
right.
When that dropped, I recall myself being like but the sentiment across the board, like I think people were really salty. People were kind of upset that and a little insulted that a company that they've put so much money and heart and passion into is just going to be so cold-shouldered, so to speak. But think about it though, like they were kind of forecasting, right? They were forecasting. They were kind of like, all right, you whiners, like we're making the game. You're buying it. Why are you complaining? Let's if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't like the channel, don't watch it. It's that logic. So,
well, I actually have an analogy to go with it because I think it's true. Because WOTC was a small company, right?
Okay.
They started as a small company and they built up. Now that's like the humble little kid who's just trying to make it in the world on YouTube, basically. The one day they become popular and they don't know they're popular, but one instance shows how popular they are, and now it all goes to their head. And now that popularness is in their head, and they're like, well, people are buying what we're selling, they're buying what we're selling. Hell yeah. Then we can just print anything, reprints, new cards. We can print crap. No one's going to care about the quality of Pringles or nothing. They're going to buy it and buy it and buy it. Then all of a sudden, hard truths. And they're like, oh, maybe like the thought should be, oh, maybe we did too much, or maybe we need to self-assess here. But, they're not going to self-assess because it's not, in their eyes, it's not their problem.
Right.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
The only way to make them see their problem is to stop buying. But, that's not going to happen because you're going to have people out there wanting to play Magic. So they're going to go and buy these cards.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that we can, take our ball and go home, but then the game stops, and then that kills the game, and then what? we have to find a new hobby or liquidate our cards, and that's
Right.
tame. So, you know, we just kind of got to take it with a grain of salt sometimes, man. Like, I think that if I were to devil's advocate and halfway excuse Wizards, bro, inflation's a thing. Like, the actual American dollar is losing value. So, you know, it's unfortunate that we're having to pay more for crap. But
Right.
you know, they got to do it, man. What was it? I got pizza at a local pizzeria here in my town that's been here for 20 years at least, right? Like, I moved up here roughly 15 years ago, and they were there. $5 pizzas all day, every day, right? It was great. It's great homemade, good stuff. I went there just last week. It was $8. It's $8, man. You know,
Not is it the Little Caesars where we're at? It was $5 pizzas. Now it's $8 pizzas.
yeah, and that's a huge percentage increase, man. Like, that's almost double.
Yeah.
Well,
Crazy.
you want to talk food? Since my wife and I were in the reselling business, we pay attention to a lot of things. We pay attention to a lot of things and how they start, because like the reselling business really got hurt because thrift stores like Goodwill, Desert Industries, whatever they have around you, when people got into reselling, it really affected them.
The old
made them
DI. I've shopped at one of those in Idaho once.
yeah, a Mormon led industry.
It is.
Yeah, there you go. I know, because I'm from Utah, and that was a big thing about it. So, anyways, like some of these reselling, some of these thrift shops started like posting like pants for like $40 at a thrift shop, and they're like, on eBay you can get these for like $65, you know, because of the reseller industry. Well, how that ties into the food is COVID hit. A lot of people started using Uber or DoorDash or other apps like that to order food. You know, people pick up your food, and it's like something clicked in the fast food industry where they're like realizing people are willing to pay this much for like they have like a $12 burger, but people are willing to pay $20 for this burger. We could start charging more for that burger because people are willing to pay for that to be delivered. And we noticed the price for a triple Whopper value meal at Burger King over here has increased from $28 to $32. $32. That is a big jump, like for the whole meal, like for 2 meals and all that jazz, like two triple Whopper meals, right? We've noticed a jump. Plus, then when that's with the tax and everything. But then we went to this burger joint that's like a steakhouse, but specifically burgers. It's like a sports bar burger place. Their burgers cost less than the fast food joint.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the corporate takeover, man, they're definitely profiting off of people not paying attention. And
Right.
you there sound like you're paying attention, so you got ahead of the game on that one.
About what Twitter says, do you guys think if people stop buying the product, that Hasbro would close the shop and quit printing altogether?
Look,
I don't. Maybe. But I don't see that happening because you're always going to have people come in and buy cards.
There's one ultimate truth to Magic the Gathering right now. There's always going to be people buying product because they're good at what they do. You might not like
print it, they will buy.
Right? You might not like the Doctor Who set, but you have a bunch of nerds like us who are into Doctor Who are buying the Doctor Who set. Or in my case, you have people who love the Jurassic Park franchise who are buying the Jurassic Park cards. Like, you know, I got a draft booster, I got 2 commander decks, I got a secret lair for Christmas. You know, they've learned how to target the people. So they might not make the record sales, but they know how to sell product, and there'll always be someone who wants that product. I've always wanted Jurassic Park Magic the Gathering cards on top of like other franchises. I mean, Transformers was a dream come true for me too. You know, I'm more of a Jurassic Park buff than a Transformer buff, but I love Transformers.
Yeah, bro. In all my years of riffraff and passing around the table of conversation, I don't think I ever, like, seriously, no cap, never presented the idea of, what if my, elf was Spider-Man?
Right.
Or The Walking Dead, or whatever thing that they have out now for IP crossovers. That seriously never ran through my head. It never occurred to me that could even be a thing. I was so enthralled with the world that Magic had already created that I felt no need. It's like when your girlfriend or your wife makes you so happy that you don't need to look for another one. I was fine with what we had.
Right. No need for change.
Yeah.
Well, starting building a cube a long time ago, like getting into the cube building, me and my friends got into a grip where we're like, what if we designed our own card for Magic? Like, what if there was a Samus card, from Metroid Prime? What if we designed a card for that where she morphed? Or what if we did Pikachu as a Magic card? I did that. I made a bestow version. I'd come up with IPs like Super Mario. What if we made a Super Mario cube?
I bestowed you.
How would we incorporate the flowers before we thought about doing tokens? We didn't think about making like a flower token or fireball token or anything like that.
Bro, you're creative game design. That's really what that is. You're taking something that you already know and just shifting it into a different light, man. You're kaleidoscoping that thing, and it's cool, man.
That's how we thought, and I appreciate the compliment. That's how we thought back in the day. We got excited and we love things. Now I get to like I know not everybody wants a Barney dinosaur card, but there are people out there who want a purple dinosaur Barney card. So if they did a Barney and Friends Secret Lairs, someone's gonna buy it.
Oh yeah,
just for the memes.
For the memes, bro. That's all. That's a whole nother topic, man.
He'd be a group hug card too.
It could be actually. I love you. You love me. We're all group hug family. Hell yeah. That's funny, bro.
Yeah, you said a small hall of Magic would be interesting to see play out. Yes, it would be.
Right. In Magical La Fairy Fugazi Land, we could see that happen, but obviously they're, a business and they have monthly, quotas, yada yada yada, quarterly quotas that they have to meet. So just wouldn't happen.
Right. So Twiddler, too, you say, from what I said earlier, and you're like, so I'll always be in business. Gotcha, right? The thing about Magic, it's becoming trendy, and you got to be able to follow the trends of what people want. Now, I cannot tell you what's going to be trendy all the time, but it's going to be becoming a trending thing. They're Wizards of the Coast, what they're trying to capitalize on right now is becoming synonymous with American culture. That not only everybody knows what Magic the Gathering is, but following the trends of Magic, what's popular now, what's going to be nostalgic later, what's going on this. They're trying to hit on that. Notice the first few Universes Beyond cards are older themes like Transformers. Transformers is synonymous with being cultural. Everybody knows what a Transformer is, so they know what that is. Jurassic Park, synonymous with American culture. Everybody knows what Jurassic Park is, so they try to follow that. Now we're getting into newer stuff. They're playing the field. They're testing it out.
Can I quip in real quick? So to the viewers and to the show here, did you guys know that Nintendo was originally a playing card company?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Playing card, not a collectible card game, but they made playing cards.
Yeah. And there was a whole story and background to that with Japan and gambling and yada yada yada. But
there's an interesting story, especially of how it tied into some of the mafias back then.
Exactly. But the thing is that the framework for Magic is there because guess what? They have essentially pictures. They have pictures, and they've made the framework of a business model to print cardboard pictures. And now that somebody's light bulb went on at Wizards and like, why aren't we putting Iron Man on there? Why aren't we putting The Walking Dead on there? Like,
right,
you guys are limiting yourselves so much. Limiting.
Right. Well, to be clear, collectible cards have been out before Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering was the first collectible card game, which what sold it. Cards you can collect that can be worth value, that are playable.
And have utility, yeah, playable and utility. That's the other thing that, like, kind of to backtrack slightly to the Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. I feel that, you know, Pokemon collectors, 9 out of 10 of them are just that, collectors.
Right.
You know, they don't play the game, and so not having that utility there, you know, for commoners, keeps the price down a little bit for certain cards. But, you know, there's a reason why Force of Will is, you know, almost always $100 in near mint condition, right? And almost no matter what set you get it from. Now the recent ones obviously are not at that, but it's been a staple for a long time, and it's preserved its value because of utility.
Right. And the utility is what makes it good. You know, the interesting thing about noticing the reprint trend, like how they reprint over too much, is there was a time when you could tell how good a card was by the price of it financially. Now it's harder. So people struggle to build decks, so they're always asking for advice. So the interesting thing about that is someone like me has learned because of the price and was able to focus on cards that are good for the format. Now I don't need to worry about the price. I actually can just read the card and know how it fits in the basic structure of a deck, which is I find interesting. But with that, Hillbilly, why don't you say something nice?
I don't know what to say. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. All right. But we're at the time of the day. Do you know what time of day it is?
It is shield time.
No, it's market movers time.
Oh, yeah, right.
Movers and shakers, baby.
What?
The top 5 cards going up in standard today. We got Sunfall at 935 plus 30%. That's a pretty good kick in the butt going up. Then we got Jetmir's Garden just slowly creeping up at 2610 at 4+4%. That card's going up pretty good. It's going pretty amazing. It's
in every deck in standard. I swear, bro. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Well, Tri-Lands are solid. You know, being able to tap for 3 colors. Shattered Sanctum plus 5%, 2098. This card's always been creeping up. I mean, this has been a little bit where it crept down a percent, but this card's been climbing up. Black, white. It seems like Naya decks and Orzhov decks just been ruling standard if you just follow this list. But I'm not saying that's the case at all. Then going up 1292 plus 6%. Gix, Yawgmoth Predator just chilling like a villain over here and going up slowly. He's been creeping. My peepins, he's been creeping. All right, plus 5%, 1454. You got headquarters. Yes, Batland, my favorite color, my three color combination of ever loving 3 colors is up. Yeah, 1 second.
Oh, that's all good. So we have 3 lands on the list already, which tells you that people are building decks. They need their mana base.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm out of coffee. Need to sip my Kool-Aid. All right,
I'm not.
Just going down 12%, 2492. We got Virtual Loyalty, just chilling. It's like 12% is a good gash in the drop, but it's pretty much stable, so it's not flying too far. Now, a card I need to get a copy of that's dropping of is $4.30 at down 11%. It's Galtan Maverick. This card is power. All right. The 12/12 trample that makes tokens on attacking. All right. Pretty solid. Then down 4% at 1303. Got Kadama the West Tree. This card is pretty much just chilling at that price range. Like it's probably like you can just pay like $12, $13 for this card and get a good deal on it. Go get it. It's a good card. It's good for Rafik. It's good for Voltron styles decks. Agatha's Soul Cauldron is down 1%, so it's not really moving. At 45.69, you're guaranteed to have this card to stay in value for a bit, unless it goes into affliction with today's topic. This card is doing pretty good. I like it. Now, a card with a weird ass name, if you ask me, down 2% at 28 is a wedding announcement. This is a transformative card. It's just chilling here at $20, just chilling. It's good and standard. People have been playing it. I know I played against it, so it's a good card. And I know this is more than 5 cards down, but I want to catch this Phyrexian Swamp here, down 13%. $1.73. So if you want this particular swamp, go buy it. That's a good price.
Nice.
How much is that at right now?
$1.73. These are like $3-4 lands. So it's
Heck yeah! Oh, it's dropped. Oh my god, man! Because
Yeah.
I was actually trying to sell a couple of those. That's crazy. Okay.
Sorry. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sell it now.
No, people usually like collecting those. I thought you collect them. All right, now modern cards going up at 965 plus 25%. We got One Winding Clock. Untap artifacts you control during other players' untap steps is pretty solid for 4 mana. Get that. Down plus 5%, 42 for 22. You got Urza Saga just ruling the day, being a rude enchantment land. Plus 22%. This is a good climb. 999. Greater Good. Greater Good's always a good card in Commander. I don't know how good it is in Modern, but it's on the Modern list, so it must be a deck out there. Then you got Ragavan Nymphal Profler at $45 plus 4%. This card is doing pretty amazing. Then plus 9%, 1635. Got Bloom Tender. And now this Platinum Angel has gone up 15% to $5.64. I'm only covering it because it's the highest card going up this week. That's not the top 5. It's pretty good. Now, cards going down 6%. You got Cavern Souls from Avison Restored at $45.14. It's going back up to $50. That's pretty good. Last March to the End, it's at $14.72, down to 6%. Sadly going down, but it's a pretty good card. Now, this card, I don't understand why it's more than 50 cents. Is down 1%, so it's just sitting at $69. It's Mindbreak Trap. Mindbreak Trap, everybody. Used to be bulk bin card. All right. Phyrexian Crusader at $6.49, down 10%, is doing pretty good. This card's always been good, solid, loved zombies, and this is really good for the zombie deck. It's good for Phyrexian deck. Has Infect. My question is, why don't I own a copy of this card? All right. Lighthouse Chronologist. Lighthouse Chronologist is $14.62, down 4%. Yeah. Look at that. That card is pretty good. Pretty good. And that has been the Movers and Shakers. Woo-hoo. Now, I hope I went through that fast enough for you guys. We had a loaded show today. It's been amazing. Like, our conversation's been amazing. We've been so live. So I appreciate everybody in chat and everyone not. Let me catch up with chat really quick because I missed a lot. I remember how many people didn't like this two set blocks like Lower Morning Tide and Shadow Morning. Wow, I always loved them, but I don't know why they stepped away from it. And everybody loved Lorwyn. So we're going back to it in a couple of years. They did release during 2008, so yeah. Core sets were always important, though. That's why they still have core sets, like D&D Beyond was a core set, or D&D when we went to D&D. That was a core set that took the core set. So
Core set.
Yeah. I like the core sets because they let you know when standard started at a certain time and when it ended. So
I personally like core sets because it was a great entry product. It was like not overpowered, right?
Yeah,
Imagine
that's right.
never playing Magic and then buying Modern Horizons 2 and getting stomped by Fetch Lands and Ragavan. Oh, and all the Murktide and stuff. But
Right.
at least you knew that the top of the CMC chain was like Grave Titan, Sun Titan, Frost Titan, for your M10s, M12s, and crap
Right.
like that. Yeah. Hell, they even had Birds of Paradise.
Right.
Wow.
Well, think about this. Standard wave entries Commander now. And that's 199 or about 63 individual cards plus your lands. That's more harder to get into than a core set. That's harder to get into in a core set, and that's the standard entry level now. And they expect people to follow it.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, they sell pre-constructed Commander decks, and Commander is a format, so let's just say loosey-goosey. That you can go get a pack of Bicycle playing cards and then Sharpie on it with what deck you want, and people be okay with that most times.
Right? Well, no. Like, I'm not talking about price there. I'm talking about trying to figure out an entry point. Yeah. Let's say I go to Amazon, type in Magic the Gathering Commander Precon. How many results will I be shown? What if I want to play constructed? how harder is it to find a constructed deck to play for constructed? What's an entry point for constructed? Standard is supposed to be the main thing for Magic the Gathering,
like
more
the
than
front gate, so to
right, the
speak.
front gate. And now the front gate's Commander. What I'm getting at, it's the complicated step of Magic is harder to get into. Not to get a Commander deck, but the learning curve is increased. And I know that because I know a couple people who have struggles with individual 99 cards, that kind of thing. But anyways, I digress. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. But it's time for the shill section.
All righty. Well, today at 2 o'clock, I plan on doing a Commander game. If anybody wants to join, all they got to do is get a hold of me on my Discord and let me know they want to play. Then I'll send them a link to Spell Table so they can join in on the game.
Yeah. Just don't promise to kick Hillbilly's butt before the game. All right. Now, TCG Dude.
Yo.
So,
today is Friday, and actually I got a local event going on. A new LGS is hosting a Fate Reforged and Khans of Tarkir draft. And I finally get to, pop my draft cherry, so to speak, and do the thing. Yeah, dude, I'm really excited. I'm a sealed guy, all right? I like to open my own cards and keep my cards. Don't touch my crap.
That's right. I love sealed. I love drafting. And this is limited that we're going into the limited world of Khans of Tarkir.
So I'll be doing that, and then hopefully later today at some point before the draft I'll get my Fallout 3 stream going in. That would be awesome. 3. Yeah.
Oh, I hope you have I hope you have a blast.
Thanks, bro. You know what, man? Even if I just like selfishly take a fetch land and bust out, like I just 0 and 5 and I got the most expensive cards, I still win.
Right.
Yeah. No, but anybody here or any viewers just want to reach me online, you can always at me on Twitter, x.com @TCGDude, or in the various Discords. I'm around, man. If you need a Gary Oak to your Ash Ketchum and want to, practice some magic, I'm your dude.
Yeah.
TCG gets around.
Yeah,
like a Stealing fan, dog.
Yeah. Well, so today's Friday. I might do some arena gameplay randomly. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I will play Commander with Hillbilly later. Who knows? Let's see how the day goes. But I know for sure around 8 p.m. I'm going to be playing some Metroid Prime tonight. Going to find a boss to kick its butt. Yes, if you've been following along, you understand how terribly awesome that is. Because it's a rough boss, and I'm excited to get to it. Thank you, Aaron P., for getting me this far in the game, because without the help and guidance of Aaron, I would probably be dead in the game, struggling at the beginning still. Who knows? But I appreciate it all, and I want to say thank you, everyone, for hanging out today. Thank you, everybody, for being awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And anybody want to say anything else before I get to the closing segment of closing?
Love yourself, love your friends, love your family, and enjoy life.
You mean hide your kids? No, I'm kidding.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron? Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun. Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron shall remain.